last 2.5 days, we have spoken a lot about the physical part, the physical dimension, of our body. But what about the non-physical, which again is much, much more important than the physical part? And for this, we have a very special guest today, a very special speaker today, who is a transformational teacher and a visionary entrepreneur who's passionate about igniting and catalyzing the transformation of humanity. He is the author of an award-winning book called The Just Be, Transform Your Life and Life as Infinity. And he's none other than Suresh Ramaswamy. He brings an inspired yet pragmatic approach to elevating consciousness on this planet. Held in high regard by people around the world, Suresh's light-filled presence and guidance awakens them to their innermost essence. I had the opportunity to be in the presence of this charismatic person, and I do not have words to explain or to define my experience, and I will just have Suresh take over now. He's also the founder and organizer of the popular Wellness in All Dimensions group, and today he will be speaking on higher wellness, using the power of consciousness to heal. So Suresh, a very warm welcome to you. It's pretty early out there in the US. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Dr. Ruhi. It's a real delight to be with all of you in this conference. Thank you to the organizers for inviting me, for making the space for this unusual topic. A couple of days, I think we've been hearing and receiving some excellent information on health, wellness, looking at it from the lens of the functional medicine approach. And what I'd like to do now is actually step back in a big way and take a fresh look at, what is wellness? What is what I call higher wellness? And having looked at higher wellness, I'd like to talk about what is a unique and powerful thing that each of us has that we can use to heal ourselves. And that is consciousness itself, our own power of consciousness. So this is what we're looking at. And so it's going to be different than some of the other sessions. So I would invite you to relax. I'm not going to be giving you a lot of information that you have to digest very quickly. In fact, I'm going to give you very little information, but hopefully information that can make a dramatic difference. So take a deep breath and relax. Let me bring up my slides here. Okay. So hopefully you're seeing my slides. If not, let me know. So what is higher wellness? And of course, as Ruhi mentioned, my name is Suresh Ramaswamy. I'm joining you from San Diego, California, on the west coast of the United States. It's very early in the morning, but I have had my cup of tea, so I am awake. So let's talk about higher wellness. Sometimes we take the definition of wellness for granted. We think wellness means good health. If I'm fit, if I'm feeling strong, if I have energy, I'm well, and that is true. But let's take a look at something even deeper. Higher wellness goes beyond physical fitness. It goes beyond good nutrition. It goes beyond simply being free of any of the diseases. What it means is being whole and being aligned in all dimensions. And what are the dimensions we're talking about? We're talking about the physical dimension, of course, but we're also talking about other dimensions like our emotional dimension, our mental, spiritual, and beyond. So these are all aspects of our being. And unless all of them are aligned and all of them are doing well, we cannot really say we are well. So higher wellness encompasses all these dimensions. And what happens when all those dimensions are aligned? We are able to truly engage with life. We can truly live life fully. And what does that mean? That means that we are able to live and be with everything in our life in a way that's very enriching and fulfilling. So we're able to create what we want to create. We're able to grow. We're able to contribute to the well-being of our family, our community, our world in a way that's we're unimpeded by limitations. So we're not held back, limited, and restricted in any way. So, in other words, the best that we have to offer in our life can come through, right? That's what higher wellness is about. And as you hear it, you can feel this is leading a full life and leading a life that is feeling really good. So that's what higher wellness is. Let's take a look at what does that actually feel like. So each one of these points I'm about to mention, I would like you to actually not just think about it, but actually feel it. So here's the first point with the experience of higher wellness. The first point is connection. Connection means you feel a sense of connection and connectedness with everyone and everything. So, certainly with people around you, with nature, with the planet, with animals, with everything that's present in your life, you really feel connected. When you feel connected, it's a very different feeling, right? You feel you're part of something big. And this feeling is a very good feeling. In fact, when we have the opposite, we can quickly see that something is not right. When we feel disconnected, when we feel isolated, when we feel lonely, these things don't feel good. And this is just the opposite of that. So, connection is the first, I would say, hallmark of higher wellness. Second one I'd like to highlight is goodness. What do I mean by goodness? Goodness means actually radiating a positive energy continually towards everything, towards every situation, and towards every person we come across. So when we think of this kind of radiating goodness, I want to clarify, I'm not talking about an interpersonal, emotional kind of feeling. I'm talking about something even more subtle and refined. And that you can call it pure love, caring, consideration, compassion, coming from a sense of fullness, coming from an abundance of joy that is within you. So when you yourself are feeling very good, you radiate this goodness. And that's one of the hallmarks of higher wellness. And the third one that characterizes higher wellness is vitality. What does vitality mean? Vitality means there's a flow of energy throughout your being, throughout your body, and you feel that there's the energy through which the energy channels through which energy flows, these are clear, they are vibrant, which means you can live life fully, you can express yourself fully, and life feels very satisfying. So this kind of vitality, of course, when whatever field you're involved in, you are able to contribute in a big way because there's a freshness, there's a clarity, there's a power. So these three, connection, goodness, and vitality, are three aspects of your experience of higher wellness. So as you can see, what we're talking about here is definitely going well beyond what any blood test can show you. This is showing physical and non-physical aspects of your being. So non-physical aspects of your being, there is no scan, there is no blood test, there is no test that could just tell you what's happening in the non-physical. But the non-physical is extremely important because it is the non-physical that is reflected in the physical. So your physical body actually is not just floating in nothingness. Your physical body is representing the blueprint that is part of your non-physical. So let's take a closer look at that. And in fact, this is the point where we will look at consciousness in general. So consciousness, it sounds like a very big, complicated word, but don't worry. In a few minutes, you will realize that you know a lot about consciousness already. So what is consciousness? Well, let's take a look at the next slide. So here, some of you might remember the movie The Matrix, right? It came out many years back, Keanu Reeves. And one of the striking points from the movie The Matrix is that when you look at reality around you, like you look at something around you, like walls and people, you see that everything looks very different. It's actually these floating pieces of energy and information, right? You see everything around you is not solid, but it's actually energy and information. Even what we think of as the body is, in fact, starts looking like this, starts looking like energy and information and consciousness. So what is consciousness? When you look deeper, you see energy, and when you look even deeper, you see consciousness. So consciousness, you could say, is very fundamental and deep within us. And that's also where some of the answers are to our most challenging problems. So I talked about consciousness and the physical body, and let's get some clarity on that. Let's see how it all fits together. So if you think back to billions of years back, well before creation was created, right? Can you imagine back well before your grandfather, well before your great grandfather, well before any point in time that you can imagine, when there was creation had not yet been created, what was there? What was there was what you see on this slide, which is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is so fundamental that you cannot take it away. When you take away everything, what is left is pure consciousness. So pure consciousness, you could think of it as the ultimate thing that is the most fundamental. So that is what I call pure consciousness. Now, within pure consciousness, we are very familiar with one thing, which is the physical realm. Somehow we seem to be very engrossed and very busy with physical reality, right? Almost everything you can think of in your life, where you live, your family, your job, your car, your house, everything, if you think about it, is in the physical realm. And this is so, it grabs our attention that we just think this is the only thing. So sure enough, when it comes to health and wellness, we look at our physical form, we look at our body, and we start thinking, this is it. My health, my wellness is all about this body being healthy and well. But in fact, If you've dealt with a chronic condition, you will see sometimes what happens is the physical body, no matter what you do, doesn't get better, right? You try everything you can think of, and it still is not getting better. So you actually start noticing at that point that there's something more. There's something more than the physical body. You start intuitively recognizing that there is this energetic aspect of your being. So this is the energy I'm talking about is not physical energy, like running around and doing a lot of work. I'm talking about subtle energy, subtle energy. So subtle energy is something, in fact, you probably heard the word chakras. So when you think about chakras, what is a chakra or the energy center? We are starting to talk about the energy realm. So behind the physical body is our subtle body or energy body. And so this realm is very significant because some of the deeper, more chronic conditions have the underlying cause in this subtle energy. So when you start working with subtle energy, you will find that those healings are also showing up in the physical body. So these are all very connected, the physical and the energy. So if you make some change in the energy, physical will change. If you make some change in the physical, energy will change. So it's very important to start recognizing that there is more to us than the physical body, because there comes a time when we need to start looking at subtle energy. Turns out there's even more deeper stuff. If you look beyond energy, you start seeing light. The light I'm referring to here is transcendental light. It is cosmic light. It is light that we are not necessarily ordinarily seeing. Ordinarily, what we see is electromagnetic light. This light I'm talking about is far more subtle and is much more subtler than the energy. So as you could see, the non-physical, just looking at the size of these rectangles, you can see the physical realm actually is pretty small. Then the energy realm is much bigger, and then the light realm is even bigger. So this should give you an idea that there's a lot going on underneath the surface. So what appears outside as me and my body and my health, underneath that, there's a lot going on. And I think I want more than anything else to open your eyes to these possibilities. Because once you start thinking about these things, it will open up enormous gifts and blessings and healings that are waiting for you. So as you can see on this slide, this pure consciousness is something that pervades all of this. Physical realm, energy realm, light realm, they're all pervaded by consciousness. So consciousness is ultimately includes everything. It includes everything. And if you are thinking this consciousness is something ultimate that maybe someday I will understand, actually, each and every one of us already has a direct connection with this consciousness. Because think about, how do you know you are right now alive, right? Your sense of aliveness, your sense of presence, that is consciousness. That is your personal consciousness. And your personal consciousness is a reflection of this pure consciousness. So everything we're talking about is connected. And you already know more than you realize about all these things. But now I'm giving you some names and a model so that you have a clear conceptual idea. So if you feel like you want to start working at a deeper level, where you bring the ultimate power, the power of your consciousness to help you heal, you will find not only healing, but all aspects of your life will be uplifted, will be blessed, will be enriched significantly. So definitely, I know for some of you, this is very interesting and intriguing. And I would invite you to look deeper into all of these things. And we'll have hopefully some time for questions as well. So I'm happy to answer questions about this topic. So we talked about higher wellness, we talked about consciousness. Now, you might be thinking, how do I use this to heal myself? So I'm going to give you a very simple and very powerful technique. If you just use this technique, you will start seeing differences instantly. So the technique I'm about to share with you is the light of infinity healing technique. And let me go back to the previous slide to talk about what is this light of infinity. So here we looked at physical energy and light. If you look at the very top of the light realm, so the very highest vibration in the light realm, that is the light of infinity. So the light of infinity is the highest vibration in creation. So now we're ready for the healing technique. And I want you to not only listen to this, I want you to try it out right now. So this is not a theoretical thing. Let's actually do this exercise. It does not require any special abilities. So each and every person listening to this, you can do it. It's not complicated. So we all know this infinity sign, right? You can see that on your screen. Imagine a beam of light moving in this infinity sign shape. So you're going, just as you see on the slide, there's a beam of light tracing the sign of infinity. Okay. So keep that image in mind. A beam of light tracing infinity slowly, easily. Okay. Now take this infinity sign and place it on your heart. So in other words, the center of the infinity sign is on your heart. So you're tracing infinity mentally on your heart. So again, the beam of light is going through your heart, making the loop, again going through your heart, making another loop, and so on. Let's do that in silence for just a few seconds. And as you do it and visualize it, feel what is happening within you. You will start to see that if there's a tightness inside, it is being loosened up. It's like if your fist is clenched, imagine a clenched fist in your heart, that is slowly being unclenched. So you feel like relaxing. You feel like breathing more easily. And what it's doing is your physical, your energy, your light is all starting to connect and get in tune with wholeness, with vitality, with goodness. So you feel the sense of expansion. You feel like there's no problem. I'm feeling well already. Everything is good. You start feeling like that. Now, what I want you to do is, if there is a part of your body where you have some health issue, maybe let's say you have knee pain, you can now do the same exercise with the infinity being traced with the center on the knee. So draw an infinity mentally on your knees. Now, if you have issues somewhere else, maybe your pancreas, you want to revitalize your pancreas and heal it, you can put this infinity sign on the pancreas and let the light move in through the organ, through that part of the body. And as it's moving, it's shifting, it's removing anything in that area that is causing a blockage, congestion, that is causing some sort of health condition. And instead, what is being introduced there is light. And with light comes wellness, comes goodness, comes healing. And you, as you feel into this, you can instantly start seeing something is changing, something is starting to flow, something is starting to wake up. And you can almost feel this burst of energy through you, feeling like, wow, finally, I think I'm getting well. I think there is hope. I think something good can come out of this. You start feeling these kinds of things. So this is something you can do anytime. In fact, if you have a condition where you don't even know where the issue is, you can imagine a cell in your body and have this light of infinity moving through every cell. So every cell in your body is now being healed as you visualize infinity, the light of infinity, moving through the center of each cell. So all the functions of the cell, the mitochondria is suddenly waking up. Suddenly it remembers how to efficiently manage energy so that there's plenty of energy available for your healing, for your life. So as you can see, it's a very simple technique. You can use it for 2 minutes every day. If you have more time, you can do it 20 minutes every day, or anytime you have a break. If you just have 30 seconds, you can do this, right? There is no rules on using this. Just use it as much as you can. And I would be very interested in hearing what your experience is with this. So that is the light of infinity healing technique. I call it also the infinity vitalizer, because it will be like the ultimate supplement you could take, right? It's coming from your own higher self, and your higher self wants you to be healthy and happy. So that's the source of this technique. So as we start wrapping up, and also I want to keep some time for questions, I just want to point you to a resource. Some of you might have deeper questions and you want to know everything about all these things. So I wrote a book for you. It's called Just Be. And if that sounds interesting, you could take a look at it. And that's my website right there, justbebook.org. And if we don't get to your question today, you are welcome to contact me through my website. There's a contact page. You can reach me through that. I look forward to hearing from you. And again, I thank you for your attention. And now, if there's any questions in the chat, I'm happy to take that.
Thank you so much, Suresh. I was drained since morning, but now I see my energy back with this
Wonderful.
simple technique that we just did now. And
Wonderful.
thank you so much. The way you just explained, all this while we've just been looking at the physical realm, and there's so much to look beyond what we actually see. And that's an eye opener for everybody attending this conference, be it the patient or the practitioner, that we need to look beyond what is just visible to us. Thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing that insight. To all of you here, the book, the Just Be book, it's an amazing book. It's much more than a book, I would say. And I highly recommend this. And I request you all, if you have a chance, please go ahead and get it and read it. It will transform your life. There are questions, Suresh. I'll take that up.
Yes. Okay.
So, in the infinity vitalizer, why the infinity sign? Is there a meaning behind specific symbols in this practice?
Okay. All right. Great question. Absolutely. Infinity is the all that is. Infinity represents the ultimate, and infinity represents pure consciousness. Infinity represents everything that's included in creation. So, in a sense, that symbol infinity is putting us in touch with the highest consciousness that is there. So, we are connecting with it and we are drawing upon it. And we're also reminding ourselves that we too are actually infinite beings. So all that is happening specifically through that infinity sign. And the infinity sign itself has some magic in it, because it's actually the way it brings energy and takes away energy that is not serving. So it's constantly bringing in light and taking away energy that does not serve. So all that is happening through the infinity sign. So that's what it's all about.
So, Uttara says um, he felt energized. Do we need to maintain any posture while doing this healing technique?
All right. So I would say you can use this in any posture. So if you happen to be lying down and you're sleeping, you can do it while you're lying down. If you happen to be sitting, or if you happen to be meditating, that's fine too. So pretty much any posture is fine. The most important thing is to feel very relaxed as you can be. And as you're doing it, don't get too busy with doing it. Actually feel it. This is very important. This will make it work 100 times faster. As you're doing it, feel it rather than think about it. So that's about the posture.
So, how spirituality helps in removing infections, heavy metals in the gut. So, all
Okay.
these we spoke for two and a
Yeah.
half days.
Right. Right. So actually, this brings up an important point. So any technique like the light of infinity technique, it's addressing deeper issues, but it doesn't mean that you should ignore the physical. Okay. Just because there's non-physical doesn't mean you ignore the physical. So all that you've been hearing about in the past couple of days, all those are very important. Whether it's supplementation or detoxification or light therapy or whatever, those are important too. So you have to take care of the physical body, and there's the biochemistry. So you're addressing lifestyle, you're addressing all these things, but you're also helping the healing happen at a deeper level. So you when you do both, what happens is, whatever you're doing, for example, with heavy metals that you mentioned, whatever detox protocol you're using, it will be so much more effective as you're taking care of the deeper aspects, as you're doing the light of infinity healing technique. So I would say use it in conjunction with whatever your medical practitioner, medical expert is suggesting to you. And so that's also important. They work in combination.
Right. So it's a combination of both, and not just one alone can do everything. Uh,
Right, right.
so there are a few questions on if one needs assertions before sleep or early morning. So someone is referring to a Power of Subconscious Mind book. Is it similar?
Okay, okay. Yeah. All right. Um, well, okay, I see several interesting questions. Oh my goodness. Okay. There's a whole uh all right. So let me I'm going to be looking through them and quickly answer all of them.
Sure.
So how is this related to the subconscious mind? Yes, it is going to the deeper levels of the mind. It's not only going to the subconscious, it's also going to the superconscious. So yes, we are looking at deeper levels. Uh, can we do this technique for others? Yes, absolutely. You can do this technique for other people. It'll help them. You can also, of course, suggest it to them if they want to do it also. That's great. I see a comment that you've somebody mentioned they felt peace, love, energized, healed. Wonderful. Excellent. Um, in the Power of Subconscious Mind book, it is told that we need assertions before sleep. Well, uh, assertions, affirmations, well, those are can be useful, but this technique, it goes beyond your mind. So you don't need to do anything else. Just do the technique as described, and that's enough. If you feel like doing affirmations, you do affirmations already, that's also fine. Next question, if for knee pain, how long should the patient do to get rid of their symptoms? So any kind of condition, um, if you're wondering how long should I do this, is it, 2 pills for 60 days? Will that resolve the problem? Well, we cannot really be specific on this. It could disappear in 5 minutes, or it could take 5 months. We cannot really say, because there could be so many underlying issues and they have to be resolved. So um, it really, it's hard to predict. So I would just say, keep going and you will start seeing improvement. So that's the important thing. Every passing day, you will see improvement. And that's what's significant. How long will it take to fully be healed? It's hard to say. Um, how is this different from other light healing techniques from our own higher source? Okay, well, if you receive some techniques directly from a higher source, please use it. Absolutely. This is not meant as this is the only technique that will ever work. This is one technique that I have received, which I feel is very useful. If you have other techniques, like healing techniques, please use them. You can use them in combination if you like. Okay. How do we plan? I think this is the last question, and I think we are well beyond our time limit. How do we plan the treatment protocol for the knee pain question? Well, so as far as the formal treatment protocol, whatever your doctor is saying, whatever the expert you're talking to is saying, stick to that protocol. So on the physical level, you already have a protocol from your doctor. As far as the healing technique specifically goes, the protocol is simple. Do it every day, at least for a few minutes. Do it every single day, the light of infinity healing technique, at least for a few minutes. If you can do more, fantastic. If you can do more, that's really going to speed it up. So that's the protocol. Okay, I think we've tackled the questions, at least I'm seeing.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much, Suresh, for being with us here. And it's a wonderful closing for this 2.5 day IFMCon 22 conference. And it couldn't have ended better than this. So thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Rohi, Dr. Ashwini, and all the organizers for really, stepping up and starting to share information which is not commonly found. and information that is really important for healing. So everything you've been hearing in the last few days, it's really information that takes you deeper. So I'm delighted to see you put this conference together. I wish everyone much success, and all the folks joining the conference, I wish you speedy healing, and I hope your life is fulfilled in the most magnificent possible way.
Thank you. Thank you, Suresh. So for all of you who are still here and are here, I'll just stop sharing the screen. Yeah, okay. So for all of you who are still here, thank you so much for being till the end of this conference.
Special thanks to Suresh.